Hello. I am just giving a very short little presentation on the inquiry prompts that we're going to be working with all month long for the month of August. Our theme is peace in discomfort. And so here's what I have put together. I'm just sharing my screen. Here's what I've put together for us to get us started here and dive in. And as always, the inquiry prompts are meant as inspiration and jumping off points. And where you end up is totally up to you. And the creative process will be what brings you there. So it's not as if this is the only way to have revelations and transformations as we get through the material this month. But here it is, and maybe it'll be helpful. So I broke this sheet up into two parts, and the first is about discomfort. And it can be really helpful to explore right off the bat, what do we even mean? What are we even talking about when we talk about discomfort? As I note here right at the top of this, I am using as my root definition the concept of dukkha from the Yoga Sutras, from in Sanskrit, which means pain. It means discomfort. It means anything that feels challenging, unwanted, that we naturally want to push away. And dukkha, it's worth noting, is also a concept in Buddhism, where a language based on Sanskrit called Pali. And in that language, it's spelled a little different. So if you come across that, don't worry. It really is the same thing, basically, which would be spelled Dukkha. Anyway, so that's what we're basing it on. But as always, you might pause and do inquiry right here. What do I mean by discomfort? What does discomfort mean to me? And maybe you come up with something different than this classical dukkha definition. And then the main chunk of this whole text, of this whole thing, this thing isn't that long, it's a little over a page, okay, but it's a page and a half or whatever. The main chunk of it is this inquiry exercise right here, where I give you a bunch of different questions about discomfort and ask you to explore. Before you dive in, you have to kind of contemplate. I'm asking for you to contemplate an experience that you've had with discomfort or pain, right? Or you could choose another word in there that plug another word in there that resonates more, of course. And so you choose one of these experiences that you've had, an experience of being sick, injured. Maybe it's a different kind of discomfort. Maybe it's an emotional discomfort that you're working with right off the bat. That's fine. And then look through the questions below and note the responses that come up to each question. And some of you, we got all month, some of you might end up working your way through every question. Some of you might just choose one, two, a handful that really resonate. And I'm just going to kind of read through these. And so if you are live on the line and you want to bring out your notebook, or you're watching the video and you want to bring out your notebook, or maybe you want to draw your responses or dance them or sing them, however you want to respond, or pull out your guitar and play a response. But I'm just going to go through these now. It'll take a couple minutes, and I want you to just jot down your intuitive response. Otherwise, you could just listen and notice your body will make responses, your mind. Notice how all of this lands. Okay, so you're thinking of a particular story of discomfort, get that in mind. What is the arc of this story? Meaning, what is the timeline, the sort of series of events? I think my internet's not great. This isn't screw us up. Okay, I think I may have fixed the internet a little bit. So yeah, we're looking like beginning, what's the beginning, middle, and end of that story? Then what does it feel like? What does it feel like at every step along the way? Okay, you're still there. And what feelings, really could be sensations in your body, emotions. Also asking ourselves, what's going on in the mind? How does the mind respond to this? What colors or shapes or landscapes do you see in the present moment? Do you hear sounds or voices in this side of this inside of this painful experience? Are there smells or flavors? How does it resolve? Don't get overwhelmed. You're not supposed to have some complete answer to everyone. Again, we're just jotting down or noticing what arises. And you can jot down anything that feels really interesting or that you want to circle back to, okay? Who or what helped you or brought you peace? Who or what hurt you or brought you pain? Who or what was present? Who or what was absent? Were you alone in this experience or with others? How did you treat those around you? And how do they treat you? What was your relationship to the pain itself? How do you treat it? How does it treat you? And exploring the stories, what stories are present are present when you are in a painful situation. Are there stories about the pain, about yourself, about the relationship between you? And then some sub questions. Are you the victim? Are you ever the hero? Are there other roles or dynamics? Okay, when inside of this episode, what are you afraid of? Follow-up question when you have time, why? What are you hoping for? Follow-up question, why? What do you cling to when you're in pain? What do you avoid when you're in pain? And again, follow-up questions, why? Do you have any tools or resources available to you when you're in discomfort? And what are they? Are they different from the tools and resources that you have when you're not in discomfort? And then the last question in this series is about transformation. Did any transformation happen through this experience that you're reflecting on. And sub-questions for that: what did you lose? When we transform, maybe we lost something, right? I lost my caterpillar qualities, right? For instance, what did you gain through the transformation? I gained my butterfly qualities, whatever they're X, Y, and Z. I have two extra little exercises here that are a little different than the main exercise. One is to explore from a different angle, a little more analytical. What's the opposite of pain? Is the opposite of pain pleasure? Is the opposite of pain peace? Explore that. And then C is actually an embodied exercise where I'm suggesting that you, next time that you are in a situation that's uncomfortable, man, I hope that you don't have any of those in August, but if you're human, you probably will. I'm sure I will. Experiment with asking those prompts, or a few of them, while you're in the experience. Now, section 2 is much, much shorter, where we explore peace. And that's not because peace is less important than discomfort at all. But we're actually going to be exploring peace throughout the next couple of months, and peace in experiencing peace in these different contexts. So that's one reason. Also, I guess peace is something that in many ways we're always exploring in meditation, always. And that'll become more clear as we move on. But what do I mean by peace? What I mean is something that is talked about by all of my teachers. It is what the experience when we're in harmony with the Tao. In other words, when we are letting everything be according to its own nature. And here's the exercises that I have here. 1, can peace be present when you're in pain, when you're in discomfort? Was there peace actually present in some way or another, or was it possible at all in that experience that you explored with those extensive prompts that we just went through? You can then go through the exact same prompts, but replace discomfort with peace. You'll see that it changes a couple of them a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same thing. What you've had an experience of peace. Think of a peace experience, and really relive that and go through some of those questions to dig deeper into the nature of your own experience and see what you discover. And then this last question of the whole inquiry exercise for the month is another pathway to peace. It's actually something that we explored in this guided meditation that we did just before this, and that we explore really often because it's so important and because it helps us really get this bigger project of meditation and self-growth and self-healing. Figuring out what our values are, figuring out what is actually most important here in this life. And then connecting the dots. Can you have, is what is most important in life present when you are in pain? And you may be able to connect this just all on your own, but what does peace have to do with your values? That maybe I'll attach that at the bottom, but yeah, that's kind of inherent in here, is that peace is connected to what is most important in life. How's that so? That's it. Those are our inquiry questions for the month. And you'll get access to a link with that Google Doc if you're watching the video, so that you can practice these on your own. And I am very eager to hear about what your discoveries. I'm very eager to hear what are your questions, or what are questions that you're asking yourself as you explore all of this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into this experiment of exploring something so exploring the very definition of what challenges us, um, while we're exploring the essence of what feels good and right and harmonious.